Break the board sports. Here we go. State Farm Classic College Basketball Tuesday. Got Michigan State versus Kentucky, Kansas versus Duke. Love this. Look forward to it every year, especially as a Duke fan. But I love that college basketball has this each and every year with these four storied programs. Click that like, hit subscribe. Let's hop into the first one here. We got Kentucky and Michigan State. Now, Michigan State is catching 5.5. Kentucky's laying it. 153.5 is the over-under. Now, 63% of tickets, 41% of the handle going to the over, 37% of tickets, 59% of the handle going to the under. Now, as far as the side goes here, Kentucky's getting 59% ticket count, 73% of the handle. Michigan State, 41% ticket count, 27% of the handle. Now, Michigan State 1-4 ATS their last 5. But they're 14-2 straight up their last 16 games overall. Kentucky 8-3 straight up their last 11 games dating back to last year. And Kentucky's also been very potent in November, 14-1 straight up their last 15 games in the month of November. But they haven't fared as well against Big Ten opponents. Just 1-4 ATS their last 5. And the over between these two teams has cashed 4 of the last 6 times. Now, Michigan State comes in unblemished. 3-0 on the year, 1-2 against the spread. Kentucky 3-1 this year, 2-2 on the spread. Last year, when these two teams met up in the State Farm Classic, Michigan State 86-77 in overtime there over Kentucky. So far, Michigan State's resume beat San Jose State by 19, beat Arkansas by 3, and beat Colgate by 11. Kentucky, Eastern Illinois beat them by 46. They lost to Louisville by 8. We gave out Louisville that game, and then they whooped up on Valpo and Nicholls State. Nobody to really write home about there in that matchup. Now, when you look at this, Michigan State's got the pedigree, but Mark Pope is changing things at Kentucky. This is no more the Calipari one and done. Pope's going to put a roster together that stays together, which is really crucial, especially now, transfer portal and all that stuff, excuse me, even more important. But Michigan State, 30-7 last year, made that run to the Elite Eight. They got Jeremy Fears and Jackson Kohler on the front line. They got Carr on the wing. Those three back. Michigan State, Tom Izzo probably right back in the Elite Eight once again. It's really going to depend, that 3 in the core, so strong and so good. Michigan State, one of the few teams that has more than 2 returning starters. But now freshman guards, Jordan Scott and Cam Ward, that's really going to be for Michigan State what tells the tale. Can those 2 guards come along quickly? Now, Mark Pope, we talked about him at Kentucky. He's going to build a phenomenal program, did a really good job at BYU, Kentucky alum. But the backcourt, senior Otega Awaya, last year 16.2 points per game. This year off to a great start. Then they got the Pitt transfer, Jalen Lowe, that they were able to steal from Capel and company up there at Pittsburgh. Then they got Tulane transfer, Cam Williams, last year 41% from the three-point line. And then they're huge across the front line. 7'1" Reese Potter, 6'11" freshman Malachi Moreno, 6'10" Brandon Garrison, and then they got Jaden Quintons, 6'9". Like, they're just absolutely huge across the front line. This team averaged 84.4 points per game. Defense is going to have to pick up. That's probably the one thing where Calipari was really good at on the defensive side. But Mark Pope and company, I think they'll be able to rise to the occasion. Now, as far as the spread and the pick'em, give me the points plus Michigan State. I'll take the 5.5. These games are usually pretty tight. Kentucky in their first real matchup against Louisville. Louisville just blew them off the court, I felt like. Much more skilled, especially in the backcourt. Again, I think Carr and Kohler are going to pose some problems. Now, Kentucky's length, like I said, unbelievable. But I believe in Tom Izzo. Give me Michigan State plus 5.5. Click that like, hit subscribe. Kansas, number 25 in the country, headed to play Duke here in the second game of the nightcap. Kansas comes in 3-1 straight up, 2-2 against the number. Duke, unblemished, 4-0, both straight up and against the number for the Dukies. Now, when you flip over, Duke right now is laying 10.5. This line has continued to grow here for tonight's game. Sorry, just updating it. 10.5. We started at 8.5, and it's just continued to climb. You're over under 150.5 between these two teams. 73% ticket count, 51% of handle going to the over. 27% ticket count, 49% of the handle going to the under. As far as the spread, 53% of tickets on Kansas, but it's only equaling to 31% of the money. 47% of ticket count going to the Dukies, but that's only equating to 69% of the money. So lower ticket count by just a little bit, but higher dollar amount on Duke. This thing, like I said, it's ballooned up to Duke minus 10.5. I'm actually surprised it got that high. Now, look, I know Kansas is in a total retool mode. This isn't your dad's Kansas team, but they're still Bill Self, and they're still Kansas. I'm actually a little surprised the line has gotten up that high. But nevertheless, the Boozer Twins has been as good as advertised. I've been pleasantly surprised. There's always a question, are they really going to be that good? Kansas, 2-5 against the spread their last 7. But against Duke, Kansas really had the upper hand here. They're 5-1 straight up and 5-1 ATS the last 6 meetings with Duke. And Kansas has dominated the ACC, folks. 16-2 straight up the last 18 games when they've played ACC opponents. Now, Duke, we talked about, they're 4-0 against the spread this year. Good dating back to last year, they're on a 5-1 run. And again, Duke, had they not coughed up that game against Houston, which cost me thousands upon thousands, imagine having Duke money line being up 11 with like a minute and a half and watching that dwindle away. Duke 19-1 straight up their last 20. Now, Duke has played to the under for their last 6 games, and for the last 5 times they've matched up with Kansas, Duke and Kansas have went under the total. Now, again, Cooper Flagg gone, Conka Nipple gone, same thing as Duke, roll them in and out. But having Cameron Boozer, the strong half of the Boozer Twins, and Caden Boozer, again, they've been as good as advertised. Junior guard Caleb Foster, he has really, really blossomed over the last 2 years. And Gagba, the 6'11" guy in the middle, Malik Brown, like they are set. And then they bring in the Italian freshman Sarr. I think as the year goes on, Sarr is going to be a handful to deal with. And this Duke team is really, really rolling. However, Kansas, a little bit of a different beast here for Duke. When you go into stats so far, points per game this year, again, hard to take a lot of it because of some of the competition. But Kansas is averaging 80.2 points per game. Duke, 16 points a game, better at 96. But Kansas right now is putting up the 20th best defense in the country, points per game. They're only allowing 60.2 points per game, as to where Duke, 15th in the country, 58.8 points per game. When I look at this, I think this one is a clear under. I like the under 150.5 in this game. On top of that, I would take the points with Kansas in this. Again, see my hat. I'm a huge Duke fan. Been a Duke fan since 1990. First game I ever watched, UNLV them by 30. And from that point on, I said I'm a Duke fan. The fact Kansas has beaten them last year, 75-72, and again, these teams were totally different. And I do think Duke's a better team than Kansas. I think when the year ends, Duke is one of the top 2 teams in the country. However, 10.5 is a lot. I watched this Duke team kind of puddle along with Texas there for a while, and then they stretched it out and won by 15. I think this Kansas team is better than Texas. And since then, Duke really hasn't been tested. Western Carolina, Army, Indiana State, they blew all of them out by 30 to 50 points. So I'll take the 2 dogs, Kansas plus 10.5. I like Michigan State better, though, plus 5.5. And I'll also take the under 150.5 in this game between Duke and Kansas. Click that like, hit subscribe. Break the Board Sports, where we help you become a better handicapper. God bless and happy handicapping.